Alright guys, welcome back to another Isle tutorial, and today I'm going to be covering how to fight riders with a Rex. If you haven't already, make sure to go check out Bennett Buster's video on this. He has this very awesome tutorial on his channel, going into depth about all the different kinds of drags, and a bunch of different clips and tips for fighting Utahs. Fantastic video. I don't know why some people say it's too long. It has some fantastic information, and honestly, it'd be dumb not to watch it. So definitely give that video a check, and make sure to subscribe to Bennett Buster. The guy's a legend, and he's a beast at the game. He knows his shit. But I was requested to do this video, so I'm gonna go into what I know about fighting riders and like the kind of drags and stuff that I know. So this is all just gonna be like what works for me. So yeah, let's get into it. So one thing you never want to do with a Rex is turn to the right. You always want to be turning left. But when you're turning left, you don't want to be like looking down like this, because you're not really seeing what the Utah is doing. You want to be more like this. You want to keep your camera angle like this, so you can really see when the Utah is like when he's shifting. You can see where his tail is. So you're just watching what the Utah is doing. And then most Rexes, when they're dragging, they're doing like a standard drag like this. You can kind of mix it up and do like a little bit of stutter stepping in it. But this is what you're going to see like the average Rex do when they're fighting a Utah. This is just a standard drag. But there is other kinds of drags, such as the Z drag. So you can see here, left foot hits the ground, you tap in and out of Z. See, foot taps the ground, in and out. And you're listening for the little thump. You'll know you do it right when you hear that extra thump sound in your footstep. It can also be done on the right foot. The timing's a little bit different, but it's basically when the foot's hitting the ground, you're going thump thump. And there's like thump thump. So you're just listening for that sound of the feet on the ground. That's how you know you're doing it right. So then there's also the double drag. So this is just tapping in and out of Z. You're just combining the left foot and the right foot drag to do a double drag. And this can be really nasty against Utahs. So there you go. Just doing that little double drag. So then you want to start combining all this information with bites. So you're normally biting a little early before you do the drag, because you're trying to drag your head, right? That's what the whole point of this is. You're biting early. You're just doing a little drag. So when you're fighting Utahs, right, normally you don't want to be biting like that, right? Like you're just looking straight forward, you're hoping you're going to hit them. Please don't do that. Bite straight down. If you're going to do a brake check on a Utah, you want to bite straight down, like this. You can also do what is known as a twirl bite. So if you look to one side to the other, it'll twirl your head. So you get those Utahs that ride deep inside you. You can mix it up and look the other way, just depending on where the Utah is standing. The twirl bite I use very often. It is a very handy trick for any of those Utahs that you think you can't get with just looking straight down. You can normally do that and that'll get it. So then normally, right, a brake check, you're just walking, right? And you're stopping and biting straight down. You can also swing your head up to hit like a little bit further, but I mean, it doesn't do a whole lot more. And normally I don't do this in my Rex v Utah fights. And then yeah, in this Utah, I don't even know. Don't ever jump over a Rex as a Utah. Ever. So this clip here is to show when a Utah jumps, you can actually set them up for a drag. So jumping is very risky when you're a Utah. See, when that Utah is too straight, drag. It's all about if the Utah is kind of parallel with your leg, that's a great time to set up a drag. And normally for that, I'd set up a longer drag, just like a standard like tap shift hard. You can see that was a double drag on Mighty there, and a Z drag there. She's sitting there riding my Rex as a Utah here. I'm gonna get her for Z drag. The Z drag is like my go-to whenever I'm fighting a Utah. Oh, this clip's just funny. Look at this. And boom! He just ran right into the hitbox. So yeah, this is the show like setting up some break checks. Sometimes I'll fake out a double drag. You'll see here I'm doing like shift to do a little fake out. I'm just trying to set them up for a break check because I know they're gonna tap shift hard on the double drag, so you can break check at that time. And sometimes they'll be tapping shift hard and shoot really far up. It's a great time to break check. Or you can combine like multiple break checks in a row. Like that one there on Wyvern, I combined 3 and it made him overshoot a little bit. See, I'm going to do like the same thing to Moses. I'm setting him up with multiple break checks until he's out of position. Biting straight down. And he's dead. So now this is a little different. This is for fighting riders such as Aloes and Sukos. Basically tail tip riders. This kind of playstyle for what you have to do is different than when you're fighting a Utah. The drags all still apply, but normally you're actually looking your head up now to hit a snipe. Like that, I ran out and sniped her. She's trying to ride the tip of my tail. I'm doing a lot of counter turns. You can see, setting her up. She's going to try and turn in, but I get her tail before she can go in. So you're always wanting to do counter turns, but your timing when you actually bite, you don't want to be biting like all the time, so it's all about setting her up. So you can see, setting her up. I'm faking when I'm going to drag sometimes to make her overshoot and think I'm going to go somewhere, or that I'm going to actually do a drag, as you can see right there. I'm trying to clip her tail when she runs around. So you're timing your bites so you can hit snipes when she goes for her entry again, break checks, and lots of different drags. So you can see here, it's another fake out. I'm going to clip her tail, or try to clip her tail when she gets entry. Always doing counter turns. As you can see, I actually did a little run out there, and then she was too far out and I sniped her when she tried to get her entry again. So again, she's going to try and ride my tail. I'm counter turning. I'm doing break checks to kind of mess with her angle and set her up for drags. You can see I'm setting her up for a drag here, and it got her. Doing the long drags against Sukos and Aloes, for me personally, works a lot better than Z-dragging. Unless they're riding close to your hip, then doing a Z-drag works a lot better. But for riders like this, I find that the longer drags work better. Or just looking straight up and break checking, so they kind of go into the hitbox behind your tail or behind your left legs. Seems to work really well. Well, I hope this little tutorial helps you guys with fighting riders. I know it can be very frustrating, both for the Rex and on the rider's side. I mean, there's so many factors that can determine how the fight goes. Like if the server's been up for many hours, ping, hit reg, and all that. I mean, like it's not, you can do everything perfect, and sometimes the hits just aren't gonna land. It's just how this game is sometimes. So, but these are the kind of tips and things that I try to do to get the best results in my fights against riders. So if you found this tutorial helpful, make sure to leave a like and comment down below for any future matchups that you'd like to see me cover. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.